Hello friends, myself Sandeep N. Palle, Department of Mechanical Engineering, MP Samajat, ABT College of Engineering, Nashik. Today's topic is sliding contact bearing. In part first, we will see the basics of sliding contact bearing. So, sliding contact bearing have a sliding motion between the surfaces of the body with some lubricant in between to reduce the friction. These bearings, they are also known as sleeve bearing, journal bearing or plain bearing. In this type of bearing, surface of shaft slides over the surface of bush, which results in wear and tear and also the friction. To reduce this friction, the rotating surfaces, they are separated by a film of lubricating oil. Next is classification of sliding contact bearing. The sliding contact bearing, they are classified in three different ways. The first one is, it is based on the type of load carried. Second, based on the type of lubrication. Third, based on the lubrication mechanism. So we'll see one by one. The first one is classification based on the type of load carried. The first one is radial bearing. In this bearing, the load is acting in a radial direction only. Second, thrust bearing or axial bearing. These bearings can take the load in axial direction only. And third one, the radial and thrust bearing. These bearings are capable of taking radial as well as the axial load. Second type, the bearing classification based on the type of lubrication. The first one is thick film lubrication, thin film lubrication and the Bondi lubrication. The first one, thick film lubrication. In this type, the surfaces are separated by thick film of lubricant and there will not be any metal to metal contact. The film thickness, it ranges between 8 to 20 micron and the values for this coefficient of friction 0.002 to 0.010. Hydrodynamic lubrication come under this category. The second one, thin film lubrication. In this type, the surfaces are separated by thin film of lubricant. But at some high spot, there is metal to metal contact which exists there. Because of this intermediate contact, it is also known as mixed film lubrication. The coefficient of friction for this range is 0.004 to 0.10. The third type is Bondi lubrication. In Bondi lubrication, surface contact is continuous and the lubricant is continuously supplied over the surface, which reduces the friction and wear. The values for coefficient of friction is 0.05 to 0.2. The third type is bearing classification based on lubrication mechanism. The first type in that hydrodynamic lubricated bearing. In hydrodynamic lubricated bearing, the surfaces of the bearing, they are separated by a relatively thick film of lubricant. It is mostly to prevent metal to metal contact. This film is created by moving surface which forces the lubricant into a wedge shaped zone and it creates the pressure and which separates the sliding surfaces. The second one is hydrostatic lubricated bearing. In this type, the lubricant is forced into the bearing at higher pressure which is enough to separate the surface. The third one, elasto-hydrodynamic lubricated bearing. It is the type of hydrodynamic bearing in which lubricant is introduced between the surfaces which are in rolling contact. For example, mating gears and the rolling bearing. Fourth one is bonded lubrication. In this type, hydrodynamic lubrication, the thickness is reduced to be very thin. This may happen because of increase in load, reduced lubricant supply, and reduced rotational speed and viscosity. Then last one is solid film lubrication. Solid film lubrication. In this type, self-lubricating solid materials such as graphite, they are used in the bearing. This is used when the bearing is to operate at very high temperature. Next point is hydrodynamic bearing and its working principle. A hydrodynamic bearing is typically a low clearance assembly that relies on a film of oil that develops space while the spindle is rotating. The load supporting fluid is created by shape and relative motion between the sliding surfaces. In hydrodynamic bearing, the load supporting film is created by shape and the relative motion between the surfaces. So initially, when the shaft is at rest, it is at the bottom and there is contact between the shaft and bearing. As it starts rotating, it climbs on the bearing and it will make contact here, and that is the different than this point. Then when the speed increases, a wedge shape is created in which the liquid is forced and this fluid is under pressure and which separated the shaft and the bearing. The shaft is floating in the bearing. This is the principle of working of hydrodynamic bearing. Now we'll see the nomenclature used in hydrodynamic bearing. Here is the shaft, that is the center of shaft is O, bearing, center of the bearing is O dash. The distance between these two is known as eccentricity E. R is the radius of bearing, small r is the radius of shaft. Here is the film thickness which is minimum, so minimum film thickness denoted by H naught, and W is the load active. First one, journal diameter. It is the diameter of journal or shaft rotating inside bearing. So which will be equal to D equal to 2R. Second is bearing diameter, capital D. It is the inside diameter of the bearing. So capital D is equal to 2 times R. The radial clearance C. It is the difference of radii of bearing and shaft. So C is equal to capital R minus small r. The next one is eccentricity, denoted by E. It is the distance between the bearing and journal, that is shaft, when the journal is rotating. So this is the eccentricity. Then minimum oil film thickness H naught. It is the minimum thickness of oil when measured along the line joining the center of the bearing and journal, that is shaft. Next, eccentricity ratio epsilon. It is the ratio of eccentricity and the radial clearance. So epsilon is equal to E upon C. Minimum oil film thickness ratio H naught by C. It is the ratio of minimum oil thickness to the radial clearance. So according to the geometry, the capital R, that is the radius of bearing, is equal to eccentricity into radius of shaft into minimum oil film thickness. So R minus R will be equal to E plus H naught. But R minus R we know that is equal to C. So C is equal to E plus H naught. So dividing by C will get 1 E upon C plus H naught by C. So H naught by C is equal to 1 minus E by C, and that is equal to E by C is nothing but epsilon. So H naught by C is equal to 1 minus epsilon. Next comes bearing characteristic number and bearing modulus. The coefficient of friction in the design of bearing is of great importance because it is the mean for determining the loss of power due to bearing friction. The coefficient of friction, it depends on three parameters: Zn upon P, D by C, and L by D. The factor Zn upon P, it is known as bearing characteristic number, and it is a dimensionless number. The variation of this coefficient of friction with bearing characteristic number, it is plotted, and it gives us the performance of the bearing. Look at this graph. It is a coefficient of friction versus bearing characteristic number. So it is giving this graph, and it is divided into three parts: PQ, QR, and RS. PQ represents thick film lubrication, RS indicates thin film lubrication, and QR represents partial lubrication. Consider the portion PQ. If it is operating, bearing is operating at this point, and there is a decrease in viscosity or speed, or there is increase in pressure, means this value will decrease. As this value will decrease, it will reduce the coefficient of friction. As coefficient of friction is reduced, there is a less wear and tear, and the temperature is reduced, which will increase the viscosity of lubricant, so it becomes a stable state. On the other hand, in thin film boundary condition, if the bearing is working at this point, then decrease in Zn upon P will increase the coefficient of friction, will increase the temperature, and will reduce the viscosity, and again it will increase there is a contact between metal to metal. So it goes on the unstable side, and in between Q to R there is a little bit intermediate contact between metal to metal, and the film is very thin. So that's why it is known as a partial lubrication. The point A, at this point it is known as a bearing modulus. It is the minimum value for coefficient of friction at this point. Now below this, that is bearing modulus, the bearing should not be operated because slight decrease in the value of speed will make metal to metal contact, and there is a damage to the bearing. So for the safer side, the value is taken as 3 times into Zn upon P, and if the bearing is subjected to more impact load, it can be taken up to 15 times. So this is the bearing characteristic and bearing. Now pressure distribution and hydrodynamic bearing, as we have already seen the working principle, we can see the pressure distribution here. There is a maximum pressure, and the angle for the maximum pressure line is theta P max. The average pressure in this system is given by P is equal to load upon LD, that is the projected area, L into D. Phi indicates the attitude angle or eccentricity angle, this point. Theta P0 indicates the angle for the zero pressure. So this is the pressure distribution in hydrodynamic bearing. Thank you.